Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Naresh Maghu and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses pride that the country's number of unicorns hits a century. Informs in his Man Ki Baat program on All India Radio that total valuation of unicorns has reached over 25 lakh crore rupees. Women's self-help groups render great service to the nation, says Prime Minister, cites the success story of Thanjavur dolls sale and GI tag. Prime Minister appreciates the endeavour of ordinary individuals who work towards strengthening the linguistic diversity of the country. Prime Minister calls upon people to maintain dignity of pilgrimage sites, Char Dham Yatra, Amarnath Yatra, Pandharpur Yatra and Jagannath Yatra. Benefits under the PM Cares for Orphan Children to be released by Prime Minister tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. via video conferencing. Make Ayurveda popular through qualitative criteria of continuous research, scientific certification and technical parameters, says President Ramnath Kovind. Southwest monsoon sets in over Kerala today, 3 days ahead of normal date of onset. Prestigious Mumbai International Film Festival MIF 2022 begins in Mumbai this evening. Today is International Day of UN Peacekeepers. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar salutes the courage and dedication of UN peacekeeping forces. Bangladesh-India passenger train services resume after 2 years with flagging off of Moitri Express from Dhaka today. Nepal aircraft carrying 22 passengers including 4 Indians goes missing. And in IPL 2022 comes to an end this evening with Gujarat Titans taking on Rajasthan Royals in the final at Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad at 8 p.m. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today expressed pride that the number of unicorns in the country has reached 100. Addressing the nation in his Man Ki Baat program's 89th edition on All India Radio, Mr. Modi said the total valuation of these unicorns is more than $330 billion, which amounts to more than 25 lakh crore rupees.
एक यूनिकॉर्न यानी कम से कम 7,500 करोड़ रुपए का स्टार्टअप. इन यूनिकॉर्न्स का कुल वैल्यूएशन $330 बिलियन यानी 25 लाख करोड़ रुपयों से भी ज्यादा है. निश्चित रूप से ये बात हर भारतीय के लिए गर्व करने वाली बात है. आपको यह जानकर भी हैरानी होगी कि हमारे कुल यूनिकॉर्न में से 44 पिछले साल बने थे. इतना ही नहीं, इस वर्ष के 3-4 महीने में ही 14 और नए यूनिकॉर्न बन गए. इसका मतलब यह हुआ कि ग्लोबल पैंडेमिक के इस दौर में भी हमारे स्टार्टअप्स वेल्थ और वैल्यू क्रिएट करते रहे.
The Prime Minister said the average annual growth rate of Indian unicorns is more than that of the United States, the United Kingdom and many other countries. He pointed out that Indian unicorns are diverse and are operating in many fields such as e-commerce, fintech, edtech and biotech. He happily noted that India's startup ecosystem is not limited to just big cities, but entrepreneurs are emerging from smaller cities and towns as well. He said that this shows that in India, one who has an innovative idea can create wealth. The Prime Minister emphasized that right mentoring is very important in the startup world. He said a good mentor can take a startup to new heights and guide the founders towards the right decisions. He said there are many such mentors in India who've dedicated themselves to promoting startups. Mr. Modi mentioned Madan Padaki, who created a platform named One Bridge in 2014 to promote rural entrepreneurs.
एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को बढ़ावा देने के लिए 2014 में वन ब्रिज नाम का प्लेटफॉर्म बनाया था. आज वन ब्रिज दक्षिण और पूर्वी भारत के 75 से अधिक जिलों में मौजूद है. इससे जुड़े 9,000 से अधिक रूरल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स ग्रामीण उपभोक्ताओं को अपनी सेवाएं उपलब्ध करा रहे हैं. मीरा शेनॉय जी भी ऐसी एक मिसाल है. वो रूरल, ट्राइबल और डिसेबल यूथ के लिए मार्केट लिंक स्किल ट्रेनिंग के क्षेत्र में उल्लेखनीय कार्य कर रही है। मैंने यहाँ तो कुछ ही नाम लिए हैं, लेकिन आज हमारे बीच मेंटर्स की कमी नहीं है। हमारे लिए यह बहुत प्रसन्नता की बात है कि स्टार्टअप के लिए आज देश में एक पूरा सपोर्ट सिस्टम तैयार हो रहा है। मुझे विश्वास है कि आने वाले समय में हमें भारत के स्टार्टअप वर्ल्ड के प्रगति की नई उड़ान देखने को मिलेगी।
The Prime Minister recounted how he received an interesting gift by a self-help group from Thanjavur in Tamil Nadu. The gift was a special Thanjavur doll which also has a GI tag. He said the Thanjavur doll is scripting a new saga of women empowerment and women self-help group stores and kiosks are opening up in Thanjavur.
साथियों, कुछ दिनों पहले मुझे एक ऐसी इंटरेस्टिंग और अट्रैक्टिव चीज मिली जिसमें देशवासियों की क्रिएटिविटी और उनके आर्टिस्टिक टैलेंट का रंग भरा है। एक उपहार है जिसे तमिलनाडु के तंजावुर के एक सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप ने मुझे भेजा है। इस उपहार में भारतीयता की सुगंध है और मातृशक्ति के आशीर्वाद। मुझ पर उनके स्नेह की भी झलक है। यह एक स्पेशल तंजावुर डॉल है जिसे जीआई टैग भी मिला हुआ है। मैं तंजावुर सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप को विशेष धन्यवाद देता हूं कि उन्होंने मुझे स्थानीय संस्कृति में रचे बसे इस उपहार को भेजा। वैसे साथियों, ये तंजावुर डॉल जितनी खूबसूरत होती है उतनी ही खूबसूरती से ये महिला सशक्तिकरण की नई गाथा भी लिख रही है।
Mr. Modi urged the listeners of Man Ki Baat to find out which women's self-help groups are working in their area and collect information about their products. Talking about diversity in the country, Mr. Modi gave the example of Kalpana, whose endeavor is full of true spirit of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. She recently passed her class 10th examination in Karnataka. The Prime Minister said the very special thing about her success is that Kalpana did not know the Kannada language till some time ago. She not only learned the Kannada language in 3 months, but also scored 92 marks. Mr. Modi congratulated Kalpana for her fortitude. He said there are many people in this country who are working towards strengthening the linguistic diversity of the country. Mr. Modi cited the example of Shripati Tudu, who hails from Purulia in West Bengal. A professor of Santali language at Siddho Kano Birsa University, Shripati Tudu has prepared a version of the country's constitution in his native Old Chiki script.
हमारा संविधान हमारे देश के हर एक नागरिक को उनके अधिकार और कर्तव्य का बोध कराता है। इसलिए प्रत्येक नागरिक को इससे परिचित होना जरूरी है। इसलिए उन्होंने संथाली समाज के लिए उनकी अपनी लिपि में संविधान की कॉपी तैयार करके भेंट सौगात के रूप में दी है। मैं श्रीपति जी की सोच और उनके प्रयासों की सराहना करता हूँ। ये एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत की भावना का जीवंत उदाहरण है। इस भावना को आगे बढ़ाने वाले ऐसे बहुत से प्रयासों के बारे में आपको एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत की वेबसाइट पर भी जानकारी मिलेगी। यहाँ आपको खान पान, कला, संस्कृति, पर्यटन समेत ऐसे कई विषयों पर एक्टिविटीज के बारे में पता चलेगा।
On the topic of cleanliness, the Prime Minister said the holy pilgrimage of Char Dham in Uttarakhand is currently underway and it is sad that filth is being spread by some pilgrims in Kedarnath. He, however, said that there are many devotees who are worshipping in the Dham of Baba Kedar as well as cleaning the area. Mr. Modi said that Teerth Seva is as important as pilgrimage and without Teerth Seva, a pilgrimage is incomplete.
इस समय हमारे देश में उत्तराखंड के चार धाम की पवित्र यात्रा चल रही है। चार धाम और खासकर केदारनाथ में हर दिन हजारों की संख्या में श्रद्धालु वहां पहुंच रहे हैं। लोग अपनी चार धाम यात्रा के सुखद अनुभव शेयर कर रहे हैं। लेकिन मैंने ये भी देखा कि श्रद्धालु केदारनाथ में कुछ यात्रियों द्वारा फैलाई जा रही गंदगी की वजह से बहुत दुखी भी है। सोशल मीडिया पर भी कई लोगों ने अपनी बात रखी है। हम पवित्र यात्रा में जाएं और वहां गंदगी का ढेर हो, ये ठीक नहीं। लेकिन साथियों, इन शिकायतों के बीच कई अच्छी तस्वीरें भी देखने को मिल रही हैं। जहां श्रद्धा है वहां सृजन और सकारात्मकता भी है। कई श्रद्धालु ऐसे भी हैं जो बाबा केदार के धाम में दर्शन पूजन के साथ साथ स्वच्छता की साधना भी कर रहे हैं।
There are many people in Uttarakhand who are engaged in cleanliness and service. Mr. Modi spoke about Manoj Benjwal hailing from Rudraprayag.
साथियों, हमारे यहाँ जैसे तीर्थ यात्रा का महत्व होता है, वैसे ही तीर्थ सेवा का भी महत्व बताया गया है। और मैं तो ये भी कहूंगा, तीर्थ सेवा के बिना तीर्थ यात्रा भी अधूरी है। देवभूमि उत्तराखंड में ऐसे कितने ही लोग हैं जो स्वच्छता और सेवा की इस साधना में लगे हुए हैं। रुद्रप्रयाग के रहने वाले श्रीमान मनोज बैंजवाल जी से भी आपको बहुत प्रेरणा मिलेगी। मनोज जी ने पिछले 25 वर्षों से पर्यावरण की देखरेख का बीड़ा उठा रखा है। वो स्वच्छता की मुहिम चलाने के साथ ही पवित्र स्थलों को प्लास्टिक मुक्त करने में भी जुटे रहते हैं। वहीं गुप्त काशी में रहने वाले सुरेंद्र बगवाड़ी जी ने भी स्वच्छता को अपना जीवन मंत्र बना लिया है। वो गुप्त काशी में नियमित रूप से सफाई कार्यक्रम चलाते हैं और मुझे पता चला है इस अभियान का नाम भी उन्होंने मन की बात रख लिया है।
The Prime Minister said that along with Char Dham Yatra, many yatras are nearing, including Amarnath Yatra, Pandharpur Yatra and Jagannath Yatra. He called upon people to maintain the dignity of these pilgrimage sites. The Prime Minister said Environment Day will be celebrated on the 5th of June. He said there is a need to run positive environment campaigns.
कुछ दिन बाद ही 5 जून को विश्व पर्यावरण दिवस के रूप में मनाता है। पर्यावरण को लेकर हमें अपने आसपास की सकारात्मक अभियान चलाने चाहिए और ये निरंतर करने वाला काम है। आप इस बार सबको साथ जोड़कर स्वच्छता और वृक्षारोपण के लिए कुछ प्रयास जरूर करें। आप खुद भी पेड़ लगाइए और दूसरों को भी प्रेरित करिए।
The 8th International Yoga Day will be celebrated on 21st of June. The theme for this year is Yoga for Humanity. Mr. Modi urged everyone to celebrate Yoga Day with great enthusiasm and also take necessary precautions related to COVID.
कोरोना महामारी ने हम सभी को ये एहसास भी कराया है कि हमारे जीवन में स्वास्थ्य का कितना अधिक महत्व है और योग इसमें कितना बड़ा माध्यम है। लोग ये महसूस कर रहे हैं कि योग से फिजिकल, स्पिरिचुअल और इंटेलेक्चुअल वेलबीइंग को भी कितना बढ़ावा मिलता है। विश्व के टॉप बिजनेस पर्सन से लेकर फिल्म और स्पोर्ट्स पर्सनालिटीज तक, स्टूडेंट से लेकर सामान्य मानवी तक सभी योग को अपने जीवन का अभिन्न अंग बना रहे हैं। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि दुनिया भर में योग की बढ़ती लोकप्रियता को देखकर आप सभी को बहुत अच्छा लगता होगा।
The Prime Minister said he has come to know about some very innovative examples being held on Yoga Day in the country and abroad. One of these is Guardian Ring, under which the movement of the sun will be celebrated. Indian missions in different countries will organize yoga programs at sunrise according to the local time there. The program will successively commence, following one country after another. Mr. Modi said the journey from east to west will go on continuously. Keeping in mind the Amrit Mahotsav in the country, Mr. Modi said International Yoga Day will also be organized at 75 major places in the country.
हमारे देश में इस बार अमृत महोत्सव को ध्यान में रखते हुए देश के 75 प्रमुख स्थानों पर भी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस का आयोजन होगा। इस अवसर पर कई संगठन और देशवासी ने अपने अपने स्तर पर अपने अपने क्षेत्र की खास जगहों पर कुछ न कुछ इनोवेटिव करने की तैयारी कर रहे हैं। मैं आपसे भी ये आग्रह करूंगा, इस बार योग दिवस मनाने के लिए आप अपने शहर, कस्बे या गांव की किसी ऐसी जगह चुने जो सबसे खास हो। ये जगह कोई प्राचीन मंदिर और पर्यटन केंद्र हो सकता है या फिर किसी प्रसिद्ध नदी, झील या तालाब का किनारा भी हो सकता है। इससे योग के साथ साथ आपके क्षेत्र की पहचान भी बढ़ेगी और पर्यटन को भी बढ़ावा मिलेगा।
Mr. Modi also spoke about a few Japanese people who harbor amazing attachment and love for India. One of them is Hiroshi Koike, who is a well-known art director. He has directed the Mahabharat project, which was started in Cambodia and is continuing for the last 9 years. Through this project, he has done productions and given stage performances in 9 countries, including India, Cambodia, and Indonesia. Hiroshi Koike brings together artists who have had a diverse background in classical and traditional Asian performing art. The Prime Minister recounted how he met Atsushi Matsuo and Kenji Yoshi during his recent visit to Japan. Both of them are associated with TEM Production Company. This company is associated with the Japanese animation film based on Ramayana that was released in 1993. This project was associated with Japan's very famous film director Yugo Sako. The Prime Minister said serving the society by rising above the self is a part of Indian values. He gave the example of Ram Bhupal Reddy from Malkampuram in Andhra Pradesh. Ram Bhupal Reddy has donated all his earnings after retirement for the education of girls. He got accounts opened for about 100 girls under Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana and deposited more than 25 lakh rupees in it. Mr. Modi cited another such example from Kachora village of Agra in Uttar Pradesh. There was a shortage of fresh water in this village for many years. Kunwar Singh, a farmer of the village, found water in his field 6 to 7 kilometers away from the village. He and his younger brother, Shan Singh, together bore the entire cost of laying a pipeline from the farm to this village for supplying fresh water to the villagers. Mr. Modi stated that society can be empowered only by walking on the path of duty. He said this should be the resolution in this Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
President Ramnath Kovind today called for making Ayurveda popular through qualitative criteria of continuous research, scientific certification and technical parameters. He was addressing the inaugural session of the 59th General Assembly of the All India Ayurveda Mahasammelan at Kalidas Sanskrit Academy in Ujjain today.
देश के लोगों की अपेक्षा है कि लोगों के उपचार एवं महामारी विज्ञान के नए नए क्षेत्रों में रिसर्च, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन और वैलिडेशन के माध्यम से आयुर्वेद की पहुंच, प्रभावशीलता और लोकप्रियता को बढ़ाया है। हमारे जीवन का परम ध्येय है सुखी जीवन जीना और दीर्घायु प्राप्त। आयुर्वेद इस ध्येय को प्राप्त करने का एक सरल और सुगम उपाय है।
The President also inaugurated the newly constructed building of Government Dhanvantri Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, constructed at a cost of nearly 20 crore rupees. The President said that the result of these coordinated efforts is that research in Ayurveda is being done in about 20 countries of the world, including Mauritius. Madhya Pradesh Governor Mangubhai Patel and Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan also addressed the convention. The President reviewed the ongoing development works in the Mahakal Temple complex in Ujjain.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses pride that country's number of unicorns hits a century. Informs in his Man Ki Baat program on All India Radio that total valuation of unicorns reaches over 25 lakh crore rupees. Women self-help groups render great service to the nation, says Prime Minister. Cites the success story of Tanjavur dolls sale and GI tag. Prime Minister appreciates the endeavour of ordinary individuals who work towards strengthening the linguistic diversity of the country. Prime Minister calls upon people to maintain dignity of pilgrimage sites, Char Dham Yatra, Amarnath Yatra, Pandharpur Yatra and Jagannath Yatra. Benefits under the PM Cares for Orphan Children to be released by Prime Minister tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. via video conferencing. Make Ayurveda popular through qualitative criteria of continuous research, scientific certification and technical parameters, says President Ramnath Kovind. Southwest monsoon sets in over Kerala today, 3 days ahead of normal date of onset. Prestigious Mumbai International Film Festival MIF 2022 begins in Mumbai this evening. Today is International Day of UN Peacekeepers. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar salutes the courage and dedication of UN peacekeeping forces. Bangladesh-India passenger train services resume after 2 years with flagging off of Maitri Express from Dhaka today. Nepal aircraft carrying 22 passengers, including 4 Indians, goes missing. And IPL 2022 comes to a close this evening with Gujarat Titans taking on Rajasthan Royals in the final at Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad at 8 p.m. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। इस बार का विषय है एनवायरमेंट एंड क्लाइमेट चेंज और सवाल भेजने की अंतिम तारीख है 1 जून। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will release benefits under the PM Cares for Children scheme tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning via video conferencing. He will transfer scholarships to school-going children. A passbook of PM Cares for Children and health card under Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana will also be handed over to children during the program. The PM Cares for Children scheme was launched by Mr. Modi on 29th May last year to support children who've lost both parents or legal guardian or adoptive parents or surviving parent to the COVID-19 pandemic during the period from 11th March 2020 to 28th February 2022. The objective of the scheme is to ensure comprehensive care and protection of children in a sustained manner by providing them boarding and lodging, empowering them through education and through scholarships. The scheme will equip them with financial support of 10 lakh rupees on attaining 23 years of age and ensuring their well-being through health insurance. A portal named pmcaresforchildren.in was launched to register the details of the children. The portal is a single-window system which facilitates the approval process and all other assistance for beneficiaries. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also interact with the orphans across the country through video conferencing tomorrow. In Uttar Pradesh, the scheme has become a great support to such children. More in this report from our Lucknow correspondent.
Many children in Uttar Pradesh lost their parents during COVID pandemic, and PM Cares for Children scheme ensured comprehensive care and protection of children in a sustained manner. District Probationary Officer of Unnao District, Renu Yadav, told AIR News that 3 children in the district are getting benefit of the scheme, and it has proved to be a boon for them.
ऐसे बच्चों का चिन्हांकन किया जिन्होंने इस महामारी के दौरान जिन्होंने अपने माता पिता या अभिभावक को खोया था, और ऐसे बच्चों के चिन्हांकन करने के उपरांत हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी द्वारा एक बहुत ही अच्छी योजना ऐसे बच्चों को अपने माता पिता या अभिभावक के रूप में उनको एहसास दिलाने के लिए चलाई जा रही है, जिसके अंतर्गत बच्चे के प्रारंभ से उसकी शिक्षा से लेके उसकी उच्च शिक्षा तक का पूरा सहयोग सरकार द्वारा बच्चे का किया जा रहा है, जिसके अंतर्गत बच्चे की पढ़ाई से लेके उसके रहने का, उसकी उच्च शिक्षा में अगर वो एजुकेशन लोन तक भी लेता है तो वो भी सरकार द्वारा वहन किया जाएगा।
441 such children in a state are getting benefit of the scheme currently, and now they do not have to worry for their future. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Maharashtra, 43 orphans from Thane district who are the beneficiaries of the Prime Minister's Care for Children scheme will also participate in this program from District Collector's Office. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with the beneficiaries of about 16 schemes and programs spanning 9 ministries and departments as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations on the 31st of this month. The national-level event named Garib Kalyan Sammelan will be held at Shimla, where the Prime Minister will directly interact with the beneficiaries through video conferencing. He will also release the 11th installment of the Kisan Samman Nidhi amounting to more than 21,000 crore rupees. At the same time, events will also be organized at state capitals, district headquarters and KVK centers. Under this series of events, the scheme beneficiaries will interact with chief ministers, central and state ministers, members of parliament, members of legislative assembly and other elected public representatives. The interaction will explore the possibility of convergence and saturation of these schemes and give an opportunity to assess the citizens' aspiration for India as it completes 100 years of independence in the year 2047. The Sammelan will be one of the largest ever single-event nationwide interaction spanning all districts, where the Prime Minister will interact with the beneficiaries about the impact that these schemes and programs have had on their lives.
In Puducherry, an estimated 1,000 beneficiaries are expected to participate in the video conference of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi on May 31st. Details from our correspondent.
As a part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, 75th year of independence, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact directly with the beneficiaries of various centrally sponsored welfare schemes on May 31st. Talking to media persons, the Puducherry District Collector Vallavan said that 600 beneficiaries from Puducherry and 400 from Karaikal District will take part in the program. The interaction aims to assess the impact of these schemes and to reach out to 100% of the beneficiaries. Among the 14 welfare schemes are Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, Poshan Abhiyan, Ayushman Bharat, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and Jal Jeevan Mission. Chandra Mohan, AIR News, Puducherry.
The International Day of UN Peacekeepers is being observed today. For the past 2 decades on this day, UN Peacekeepers, also known as the Blue Helmets, are remembered by the world for their role in promoting security, peace and stability. More than 1 million UN peacekeepers have taken part in 72 such operations since 1948. This year, the theme is People, Peace, Progress, the Power of Partnerships. India has played a key role in UN peacekeeping operations. It sent doctors and nurses to Congo in 1960 and then an all-women team to Liberia in 2008. UN Resident Coordinator in India, Shambhi Sharp, lauded India's role and said its core democratic ideals and values are a testimony to its capacity.
India actually is, we look historically since the beginning across time, India is actually the largest troop contributing country of all. This is really, really fundamentally important to understand. And today, India is the third largest active troop contributing country, uniformed personnel in the world, with over 5,500 uniformed personnel currently serving in UN peacekeeping missions. So that's really a tremendous recognition, let's say, of India's commitment to the UN Charter, to the values of the UN peacekeeping, to really helping to ensure consistent, steadfast international peace and security.
To listen to the full interview of Mrs. Shambhi Sharp, tune into FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 10:30 p.m. onwards tonight. This will also be available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official, and our website, newsonair.gov.in. Meanwhile, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has saluted the courage and dedication of the brave men and women who carry out UN peacekeeping around the world. In a tweet, Dr. Jaishankar remembered the peacekeepers who have made the supreme sacrifice in the cause of peace.
The Bangladesh-India passenger train services have resumed after 2 years today with the flagging off of the Moitri Express train from Dhaka. The train with more than 170 passengers was flagged off from Dhaka Cantonment Station by Director General of Bangladesh Railways Dhirendranath Mazumdar. It reached Binapol railway station around 9:45 a.m. local time. The newly introduced train, Mithali Express, between New Jalpaiguri and Dhaka will be flagged off jointly by the Railway Ministers of India and Bangladesh on June the 1st. In Nepal, a small passenger plane operated by a private airline with 22 people, including 4 Indians on board, went missing today. Airline officials said the Tara Air 9 NAET twin-engine aircraft lost contact while flying from the tourist town of Pokhara to Jomsom. The aircraft, which was on a 15-minute scheduled flight, lost contact shortly after takeoff at 9:55 a.m. local time. The aircraft was hosting 4 Indian and 3 Japanese nationals. The remaining were Nepali citizens, and the aircraft had 22 passengers, including the crew, according to state television.
The southwest monsoon has set in over Kerala today, 3 days ahead of normal date of onset. Normally, the onset of monsoon will happen on the 1st of June in Kerala. According to reports, several parts of Kerala have been receiving moderate to heavy rainfall in the past few days. The pre-monsoon showers, accompanied by lightning and thunderstorms, have hit normal life in Kerala, besides causing widespread destructions to standing crops in recent months.
Celebrations of films at the 17th edition of Mumbai International Film Festival will begin today at 5 at Nehru Centre Auditorium, Worli, Mumbai. Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal will be the chief guest at the inaugural ceremony. A desk report. The 2-month-long cricket extravaganza, the Indian Premier League 2022, will come to a close this evening with debutants Gujarat Titans locking horns with Rajasthan Royals in the final. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses pride that country's number of unicorns hits a century. Women's self-help groups render great service to the nation, says Prime Minister. Prime Minister appreciates the endeavour of ordinary individuals who work towards strengthening the linguistic diversity of the country. Prime Minister calls upon people to maintain dignity of pilgrimage sites. Benefits under the PM Cares for orphan children to be released by Prime Minister tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. via video conferencing. Make Ayurveda popular through qualitative criteria of continuous research, scientific certification and technical parameters, says President Ramnath Kovind. Southwest monsoon sets in over Kerala today, 3 days ahead of schedule. Prestigious Mumbai International Film Festival MIF 2022 begins in Mumbai this evening. Today is International Day of UN Peacekeepers. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar salutes the courage and dedication of UN peacekeeping forces. Bangladesh-India passenger train services resume after 2 years with flagging off of Moitri Express from Dhaka today. Nepal aircraft carrying 22 passengers, including 4 Indians, goes missing. And IPL 2022 comes to a close this evening with Gujarat Titans taking on Rajasthan Royals in the final at Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad at 8 p.m. With that, we end the midday news. Have a nice day.